Whoa.
Our dopamine. Oh, I got that fix. Whoa.
Whoa. Doyle.
Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions. He loves to sing. Join our Discord. Follow him.
Oh boy, here it comes. Where's that finger to be? Put your finger on your screen. Can you match? Can you get it to match? Captain Coder here on this beautiful Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be. I hope you're having a beautiful day on this beautiful day. Happy Monday, everybody. Oryx, thank you for the hat. Let's get a hat on. Lance, thank you for that. Let's get another hat on. Whoa, almost lost it there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever to be in the world. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome in. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Such a wonderful day. Hang on, we gotta get the let's get that hat stack started. Get that hat stack started. It's so wonderful to have all you beautiful people in here. We got some incredible new people. John Rosemary. I gotta thank you to the Grumpy Game Dev for the raid. Thank you, Fix It 42. Hope you both have a beautiful day. I know you got a raid and run. I know you got a raid and run. But thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the follows. We got John Rosemary. I'd like to welcome you today to the stream with Captain Coder. I'll say thank you for the follow. Cheeto Bandito, thank you for following me today. We got the Cheeto Bandito, stealing those Cheetos, you know it's great. We got the Cheeto Bandito and you're following me. Welcome to the crew, welcome to the family, Cheeto Bandito, thank you for following me. Cheeto Bandito, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard, holy cannoli, we got the whole crew here with us on this beautiful Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you happen to be in the world. I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science educator. Folks, we're working on Mechanically Challenged today. We're working on the Mechanically Challenged today. What are we doing? Mechanically Challenged. It's the event. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Mooniz and I are going to get together. We're going to go over the submissions for Mechanically Challenged. We're going to be looking at slopes and loops and loops and slopes. Sonic-inspired loops and slopes. Folks, if you guys don't know enough about Mechanically Challenged, you got to get to know it. Let's check out what is Mechanically Challenged. Who am I? What am I? Where am I? Oh, I forgot to get a browser ready. Hang on. Whew, I got to catch my breath. So glad to have all you beautiful people here. Royal C-Dub, welcome in. My dad made homemade coffee by roasting the beans, then letting them sit, and then he grinds the beans when ready to be used. See, I know a lot of people that do it. I now have no idea what day it is today. It's today. What day did I say it is? I think it's Monday. Is today Monday? I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's someday. On Saturday. Today is Monday. On Saturday, Mooniz and I are going to be going over Mechanically Challenged submissions, folks. If you're not sure what Mechanically Challenged, oh God. Why can't I type? Challenge.org, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, the light mode. I don't know why I have light mode on in here. I thought this definitely has a dark mode visible here. All right, Mechanically Challenged is a program, a monthly game dev coding challenge by Mooniz and myself. This month is loops and platforms, slopes and loops. Can you write a program? Can you write a game where the player runs like Sonic? Look at Sonic go over these slopes. Look at him go over these loops. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's so great to have you. Yes, happy Memorial Day to everyone in the U.S. It's a beautiful day today. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Smab, it's wonderful to have you here. We got all the best people here. Code Monk. We got Oryx Dev. We got G. G, take care of yourself, my friend. I know you're busy. Do what you got to do to get the things done so that you can do them. Nariak, welcome back to the stream. Cardigoosh with the riddle. Kargoosh with the riddle. Kargoosh, I think anything that's mammalian can be technically milked, but what an utterly ridiculous question. Kargoosh asked, can you milk a female minotaur? The answer is probably yes. The answer is probably yes. It's a holiday here as well. What's the holiday for you guys out there? Smab, I'm assuming you're in the UK. I'm assuming based on your name. What holiday is it in the UK? Dota, welcome in. Enjoy your lurk, my friend. Get what you got to get. And then if you come on back, you're always welcome back, my friend. Sidian, it's always a pleasure to have you here as well. Fix It, thank you so much for the raid. John Rosemary, welcome in. Let's see, we got Fix It 42, had to head out, no problem. Royal C-Dub, always a pleasure. Dramulks, how you been, friend? Are you working on your game still? Or are you taking a break? I know sometimes you take a break, sometimes things get going and you gotta relax a little bit. Lance, thank you again so much for the hat. Let's see, do you have to ask permission first? Is there some courting ritual? Look, do you got a court? Do you court a bull? Do you court a bull? You probably should ask permission first, right? You gotta ask permission. Spring bank holiday. Interesting. I've never heard of that, but that's because I'm American. Red Myrrh. Red Myrrh, we got a fancy mug just for you. Red Myrrh, cheers. Cheers. This is my Saguaro National Park mug. This is my favorite mug. Cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to you. Hope you're enjoying whatever you're enjoying out there. Oh, yeah. Cheers, good sir, indeed. It's the fancy mug. That's right, we gotta get it. It's Spring Bank Holiday. All right. Moonness, I hope you're doing well, my friend. We are gonna be working on, I think, so I got a pretty good, what I think is a pretty solid implementation here. Here's my implementation. It was pointed out to me. Let's see here. All right, well, I'll show you my solution. I heard there's a holiday on the States today. Yeah, today is Memorial Day in the United States. Memorial Day. It's the day we memorialize having a day off work. Infinitani, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. There's a way, I forgot how to do this, but we can turn off the completing the domain thing here. Does anyone remember how to do that? Moon is still number one, 250,000 points. Holy cannoli, holy smokes. No holiday day in Germany, but on Thursday we'll have Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi. We have Chris Christie in the United States. That's not a holiday, it's just the name of a politician. Code Monk, 122,000 points. That's incredible as well. A lot of them are called bank holidays, as it historically runs in a day when the banks and other orgs are closed. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Sidian, always a pleasure to have you here. Play mode option. Yeah, I got to turn it off. Let me turn it off because I forget it makes things load faster. I don't even quite understand what it is. Unity Coder says edit project settings. And then we're going to go to play mode options. We're going to turn off. So, does anyone know if we turn off reloading domain, what does that really do? What does that really do? What are the downsides to it? Because I know it makes it load faster. Play mode, because I would be curious what is the benefit at the bottom. So project settings, but what's the setting? Edit project settings, or is it editor settings? Hang on, editor. All right, editor, play mode. That's fine. Real quick, gotta focus. All the text is so small here. Here, we can zoom in. We can zoom in. Here we go. We have the technology. Am I missing it? Where is it? Editor at the bottom, reload. I'm like, you see me like leaning into my computer here? Do I already have it off? Can I search for reload? Show the word reload. Domain. Enter play mode settings. Enter play mode settings. Enter play mode option. Oh, I already have it off. Or do I have to check this to turn it off? That's interesting because I swear it was already saying reloading domain. Interesting. All right, do I have to check that to make it off? It should be checked and reload send checked. Oh no, so if I turn them off, no, I wanted them off because it loads faster. It runs faster if I do that. Do I want these on or off? If having them on, How is it? I know, Infinite Tawny. It's because it's 4 a.m. here. It's 4 a.m. here. You gotta give me some slack. All right, sorry about that. All right, do I actually want those on? I want reload domain off. Reload scene on. Okay. This feels dangerous. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, so now, see, look, that it didn't load it. Look how much faster that is. So when I compile the code, it will happen now. Okay. All right, so check it out. Here's my implementation. Here's my implementation of slopes and loops. So my character can follow the loops. I think I've hit all of the like weird things. We also got to jump. We got to jump here. We can jump off ledges. We can jump off slopes. We jump towards the players up here. Let me get the inspector side by side so you can kind of see a little bit on how it works. Let's go to the player. Come on. Oh, I can't. Does that not? Uh-oh. There it is. All right. So you'll notice on my player, if you watch, the cyan line is the relative up, the player's up. So it sort of matches it. Driver seems to be a bit weak here. If you're going fast, you got to go fast. You got to go fast. See, check it out. If we're not going fast enough, we can't make it up. We can't make it up. It's all about going fast. But if you get going fast, boom, fast. If you press F twice, it follows the object you have selected. Ooh. Ooh. Uh-oh. Even if I zoom out, do I have to? Well, F goes to it. You're saying I can get it to follow the object in the inspector? I press F twice. Doesn't follow, it just jumps to it that one time. Enjoy your lurk, Royal C-Dub. Might be Shift F in later versions. All right, Shift F. There we go. There we go. Oh, what an excellent thing. Moodness, I know you don't need the points, but we got to give you some more for that pro tip. 250 points. Thank you for the pro tip. All right. So if you watch in the inspector, the blue cyan line is the character, my ball here. The F twice didn't work, but Shift F did it. Shift F did it. So we got to give points. Add Unity Coder, 250 points to you. So feeling those Sonic vibes for sure. That's what we're going for. I've been having so much for that. All right, Xijian wants to say, can we do this? Let's see what Xijian says. Yeah, we're trying to make it super complete here. Can we do this? All right, I better blur this just to make sure nothing terrible happens. Oh, this is Xijian's implementation. Let's see what Xijian has. So I can't do 2 players yet, but we'll fix that. That's an easy fix. Let's check it out. All right. Yeah, we can totally do that. That's easy. That one we can do. So you're saying the up... Oh, the blur is on. Thank you, Royal C-Dub. Thank you for that. Still blurred. It's because... Look, it's because these loops were too hot for Twitch. These loops were too spicy for Twitch. Look at that. Yeah, we'll be able to do that. I can add that in. So let me show you. We can do... Watch. We can do this. Oh, I'm too slow. I got to get some more power. The green line is showing my relative velocity. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're gonna get over here. Too curvy for Twitch. Got those sweet curves in there, right? All right. So again, the hexagon slopes were so cool. All right, so we can come in here like this. Woo! This is my favorite. Whee! So I can do that. The upside down thing I can totally do. Let's build that. Let's build that to test it out. All right, it's coming to my scene view. Oh, hang on. I want to just hide my game view over there. Let's go to my scene view. We're gonna add in. Let's put it over here. Let's put it over here. All right, we're gonna. Uh-oh, don't want to click that. Where's the lock? Don't let me touch that. Don't touch. Stop. I want to say don't touch it. No touchy. There we go. All right. So we gotta put it up somewhere. Let's put it up here. Let's have this section here. We're gonna have this come up. We're gonna open up a section up above. We'll add in a curve here. All right, let's take this out. Let's make it so we can curve up this wall. So we'll duplicate this. No rotation on it. And we're gonna bring this down. Snap. Little snap there. Boom. Get a little extra here. I'm being a little bit lazy with the way I'm doing some of these things, so don't be too mad. All right, so now here, let's add in one of these. Boom. So we're gonna slope up, and then we'll come off onto it. So it's gonna come up. Let's make it line up with our grid. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna slope up, we'll upside down, and we'll add another one over here. We'll bring this down. This would be rotated, what, 180? No. 90, there we go, like this. So then we're gonna slope up like that. Boom. Bring this wall up here. Uh-oh, I don't want to duplicate all of you, I just need 2 of you. Bring that up here. What's happening? I want you and you. There we go. Bring it up like that. Boom. Maybe I don't need to go that high. Let's see how we do. All right. Patrick, welcome back to the stream. Great to have you. Dungeons and Dimples. How are you today? Dungeon and Dimples, welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. What game you playing later today? All right, let's check it out. All right, so we're gonna come on up. Boom, boom. Yeah, buddy. Now we're up on top. Now we're on top of the world. So we can do it. It's a little bit tricky because your controls, you have to change the direction of your movement. So it'd be a little bit easier if I pushed out, but we totally can do this. All right, let's add in. I think I want to move this slope a little bit further over. So I'm going to bring this down there. I'm going to move this across just a hair. Just a hair. Bring this down like so. Boom. Let's get this lined up. Oh, our grid's we're off our grid. Get that lined up on our grid like that. This is off the grid as well. Right there would be on the grid. What's going on? I must have one of these offset. These should all be... Oh, this one is definitely off there. All right. Great to have you here. Dimple says, good morning, good afternoon, all, good weekend, good night. Yeah, I'm playing Gaia Project. That's right. So I'm playtesting at the moment, but the Automata is a meanie. I don't like it. We're working on our implementation of slopes and loops for mechanically challenged. This is like our Sonic inspired game. All right, let's put one of these up here. We're trying to make, Sidian challenged us, said, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? And sent us a little bit of a challenge here. So we're seeing if we can do this. All right. So why didn't I duplicate? Let's try harder. All right, like that. And then I'll just put a wall over here. So we're playing around with our movement controls to see what we can and cannot do. Seeing if we can actually find anything that we can break. All right, let's try it. All right, Sidian, tell me, are you satisfied? Can we do it? All right, so we can roll on up here. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, we can. Oh, that's so cool. That's fun. That's fun. I like it. I like it. Thank you so much for that suggestion, Sidian. Excellent, excellent stuff here. Okay. I'm pretty happy. Shipping it win. This is just making me want to play. It was too easy. Next challenge. All right, Sidian got another one for us. All right, next challenge. Let's check it out. Let it load. Let it load. Let it load. Let it load. We're going to open up in the app here. All right, Sidian wants to know, can we do this? Oh, yeah. That one's easy. It needs springs. This one's, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. All right. So let's add that up here. So we'll have this obstacle course. We come up to the top like we never stop. And then we'll do it. All right. So we're going to come in here. Let's rotate this 0, 90, 270. All right. There we go. So we'll come up here like this. Then we'll hop off like that. Boom. Bring this over. All right, so Sidian wants to know, can we go through multiple loops one after the other? So we'll have a loop here. We'll snap that loop in. All right, then I'm going to duplicate this loop, but they get progressively bigger. All right, so we got loop. Is this going to scale nicely? 1.5, 1.5. I think the snapping, getting it to line up right might be a challenge here. Does this line up right with the... It does? Question mark? Okay. 1, 2. I don't know if we'll be able to have enough momentum because you do lose momentum as you're going upside down. 2. Let's make sure this is lined up as well. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Stygian wants us to do the old triple looper. The old triple looper. I think we can do it. I think we can make it happen. It's hard to see where the floor is on this. All right, make sure this is... I should have just pulled it across. There we go. The old triple looper. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Can we do it? Can we spin? Can we turn? All right, up. Up. Oh, I didn't put a curve in here. Hang on. Hang on. We gotta put a... This is also like a little bit high, but let's take this. And we'll go 0. Yeah. So we might not line up nicely with that. Falling off this, we might be too high. We might have to move all of this down a hair to make it a little bit easier to hit properly. Let's move it there. All right, let's try. Oh, it's all a little bit too low. Let's try up. Try there. All right, let's try that. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Here we go. Loop, loop, loop. 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop. Yeah, buddy. We did it. All right, any more brain busters for us, Stygian? Yeah, Stygian. Got any more brain busters for us? We done did it, folks. We done did it. All right, so one thing I do want to try and do. All right, so there's our track here. There's our track here. So we can do them on the side of the walls and upside down. Gravity does get us, so just to demonstrate here what gravity does, if I were to, let's add a, let's put these inside here. Let's grab one of these. This is so much fun. I think I might have to make a game. I think I might have to make this into a game. I'm gonna have this come down to this section here. Let's have this, I need some better slopes and stuff too. Do it. I don't know. Look, I'm really bad at the levels. I'm just having fun making these things is really what it comes down to. All right, we'll snap that in here like this. My cycles intersect. They, so like, oh, you're saying the loop is here? That would be fine. This would work. I just have to make sure that, well, mine are slightly elevated. I'd have to redesign this loop itself because mine have like this ramp going up. It would work fine. They could intersect if I had the bases lined up. The challenge with that is that the way my ramps are is that the bottom of the loop doesn't line up with where the ramp starts. The way the code works should be fine. I'd have to make a different shape. I'd have to make a different shape. We could do that. We can make the cycles intersect though. So I kind of wanted to do that anyway. Hang on, let me finish this. I want these to come back. I want to delete this just because I'm a weirdo. I want to get rid of these and have this come down, and then we'll make them intersect. We'll make them intersect. I just have to draw a different picture because they don't line up. This is my implementation. This is my implementation. I spent a few hours this weekend working on this. I was just having a lot of fun with it. All right, that's 2. Let's keep going. Let's switch to steep slope. Steep slope, steep slope. And then did this level out? There we go, levels out there. Boom, boom, boom. What was I about to do? I was gonna do something. I don't remember what I was gonna add in here. I forget. All right. Yeah, but this one is mine. This is my implementation. It's having a lot of fun with it. I was thinking we might jump. Maybe we can jump. Yeah, we can jump. We have some of those. All right, so we have this jump here, where you have to use the ramp to get up there. So you cannot make that jump. You gotta have the momentum to get it. So you have to start far enough away. I don't know if you guys saw that light flicker to make that jump. Is that what you mean, Distron? Yeah, we do have a jump button. We can do jumps. We can do loops like this. Let's make a new loop. Sijian wants us to make a loop where they can intersect, so we can have them one right after the other. The problem with the ones that I currently have, why I can't do that with these ones, is because the actual they don't line up. The bottom of the loop doesn't line up. So I can make it so that I can make some loops where they line up across bottom. This big ramp here. You were saying possibly turn this into a jump. Let's go test it out. Let's see what that feels like. Could make it a jump. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. 1 loop. 2 loop. 3 loop. Oh, we go right over it. Why did I lose the ground? I went off the ground here. Hang on. What's going on? Oh no. There must be... Interesting. All right, let me check. My raycast might not be long enough. Or, oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? These are not, oh, interesting. My prefab, I gotta fix that in my prefab. They're not attached to my ground layer. No, they weren't on the ground layer. For some reason, not all of these are on the ground layer. There we go. In my prefabs, I didn't set them all. So this one here wasn't on the ground layer by default. So it wasn't snapping the player to it properly. Now it should work. Let's check it out. Oh, I lost it. What's going on? Oh no, I've broken it. I've broken something. What did I change? Hang on. Why? Okay, here. It was working. Hang on, let's undo. Alright. That's weird. Why did that change? What did I do? That's really weird. Oh, I know. I shouldn't change that loop there. Okay. Something went wrong with the loop. All right, let's try that. Okay, let me talk you through. I'm not going to show you the code. One of the reasons I was like hesitant to do this on stream is I don't want people to feel like clone or copy what I'm doing. But the basic idea, let's go into our scene view here. All right, it may be a little bit more obvious. I don't know how to do it in, I know your tool. The one thing is watch my player here. The blue line, the light blue line is, oh, I was hoping it would follow the player. The light blue line is the player's up. So when you do ground detection, when you do regular ground detection, usually you'll say, hey, you do a ray cast down and say, am I touching the ground? If you translate the players up as they rotate around, rather than using the world up, use the players up, you can say, oh, well, am I touching the ground relative to the players down? You can start doing things like, oh, well, the players down happens to be sideways. The players down happens to be sideways. So I can keep doing my ground detection there. And then the way I'm doing it is say, keep the player on the ground so long as they're not too far away from the ground. So then everything else works the same. I can even show you the code for my player movement and my player jump controller are actually what you'd expect in like pretty standard let me go to my player movement controller. My player movement controller looks like this. It says, get the user's input, and then in my physics update, apply a force. The main difference is I have this thing called slope info that I use to calculate the direction the player is quote unquote facing. So normally you'd say, vector dot right. So you'd say, just go to the right, go to the left. This one says, use the information about which direction my player's relative left, relative down is. And you do this in 3D games. So one thing I was realizing, in a 3D game, this is more obvious. In a 2D game, it's less obvious. In a platformer, it's less obvious. But you often do this in 3D games, so that way when you're going up a slope, you're actually traveling at the angle here. The other thing to notice here, let's follow my player around, is let's watch. There's a green line that's going to appear. This is my player's velocity. This is their direction of velocity. Notice when they hit a slope, their velocity snaps to the new direction. The velocity is snapping up as they start rotating. Okay, so the velocity gets snapped. You'll notice when I jump, the velocity doesn't snap. Notice how it slowly curves down. That's what you would normally do if you were just applying it to the left or right movement. The players will slowly start curving down. But when I'm on the ground, it says snap to the direction of travel. RF New, welcome to the stream. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. RF New, I would like to welcome you today. And then there's a couple little things we got to do as well that say, okay, well, when I hit, we don't want to snap to the ground always. There's certain things, there's like some edge case that says, if I'm coming off a sharp enough angle, don't snap to the ground. This lets us do ramps like this. We can add in ramps, boom, like that. We can also make it so that if I don't have enough speed, I end up detaching from walls. If I don't have enough speed. And then I actually do have a check in there that says if I'm completely upside down, don't snap, don't stay connected to the ground. But when we're briefly upside down, we can. So I think mine is set to 10 degrees relative to so you'll notice right here, I can't just keep going upside down. Same with on the left side. If I go all the way to my left side over here, where I have my little obstacle parkour course. I kind of want to make a game about parkour is what I'm feeling right now. Oh, I wanted to change the little icon to Capman. So right here, you'll notice I can't just stay on the top. If I try and stay on the top, you'll see what happens in a sec. I'm going to try and stay on the top. I can't go as far as I want, so I have to keep switching turn. Try to add area effector before slide. I don't know what you mean. To what component am I adding the area effector? You mean to my loop? Yeah, I'm not using an effector here. Aka Bravo, aka Bravo. Is it Aka Bravo or aka Bravo? We are implementing for mechanically challenged. So mechanically challenged here is this monthly game dev challenge by Muniz and myself. This month is to implement Sonic inspired loops and slopes. Or just slopes or just loops. You don't have to implement both. It turns out for my solution, if by implementing slopes, I actually implement loops as well. Well, let me pin that. We're going to do what? I forgot to pin it. Solomon, welcome back to the stream. And so we're just taking a look at that. Saturday, Muniz and I will be reviewing other people's solutions. You're asking how I do acceleration? Great question. So I can show you the code for that. Acceleration. I love the combination of you and Grand Moves in the picture. Yeah, Dimples. We have a good time with it. Folks, if you want to watch Dimples. Dimples is a great board game streamer. I got to get a new video of you doing board game streaming,
She's
Dimples.
taken particular offense to this
Go
pile
give
of
Dimples
snow
some love, everybody.
and is just attacking it with all of her arrows.
Dimples is a board game streamer.
What are you doing, honey?
Incredibly fun. We're gonna have to get a new clip of you.
No.
Go check her out. Incredible stuff. Okay. So the way I do acceleration is the following. There's two variables involved in it. I have acceleration factor. This is how fast the acceleration force is being applied. I say, so when I'm holding down the right button, it says apply a value, add a force going in the direction that the player is pressing. Then I have a maximum velocity, which says, don't let my player speed go beyond some amount. I also have a thing that says, if I'm beyond a specific speed, I actually accelerate faster. So Sonic starts moving kind of slow and then it gets faster as he goes. So there is a little bit, if we watch this here, let me make sure. There we go. So you'll notice the little green line starts accelerating slow. And then once I reach a velocity of 8, I have that set down here. Once I reach a velocity of 8, the amount that I accelerate by increases by 2.5. I had a couple of detectors to try and detect the ground. I think that is the way to go, but I did have to move on. Yeah, detecting the ground angle is the important thing here. If you can, so you'll notice that the angle of acceleration here starts slow and then suddenly it just gets that boost. All right, so you'll see it explode there for a second. And if I make this, you'll see it a little bit better. Let's set this so that the boost doesn't happen until 16, and then let me make my max 32. So now, I didn't mean to do that. You'll notice let's see if I can actually hit the boost here. It's gonna be harder to hit the boost, and then suddenly, when I hit the boost, I just get going. I can't do it, it's too high, it's too high. Here, let's set this to 12. See if I can get the boost. There's gonna come a point, oh, there it was. We got it there just for a second. Suddenly the boost, all right, so now I can accelerate super fast. All right, so there's sort of this boost variable involved in there. And then of course I lose speed on those curves, which is interesting. There we go. There, it matched it. Oh, that was cool, that's cool. I hope that made sense. Whoever was asking about the acceleration, how I'm choosing to accelerate, that's how I was doing it. The code there for that is relatively simple. That's relatively simple. Same with my jump controller. Doing the jump is also relatively simple. I just say, am I on the ground? Did someone press the jump button? If so, during the next physics frame, detach from the ground and then apply an upward force. So jumping is relatively easy. It's all about managing where my player's up direction is. So I have this thing called a slope controller, slope ground controller that tracks all the information. That code turns out to be pretty simple too, but that won't be revealed until Saturday. I'm not gonna reveal that until Saturday. I can talk about the general high level idea, but I don't wanna show the code on stream just yet. Okay. That said, I was thinking, oh, Sidian wants us to do curves. Okay, so Sidian has a challenge for us. So in Sidian's implementation, watch this. You can put the loops one right next to each other. So the loops are right next to, they're overlapping. The reason mine don't work like this just happens to be, and let me open up Inkscape here. Mine won't work that way because can I get this to snap there? Sure. All right, mine won't work that way. Why can't I move? Hang on. There we go. Because the bottom of the loop is actually higher than the entry point of the loop. So let's make some loops that the loop itself is at the same point as the entry point. So I'm going to adjust these here. So that way we can have loops that start lower or where the center of the loops line up. So it won't, maybe it'll work. Here, let me just see if I can overlap them. I haven't tried. It might just work, you know. I might not actually have to do it. It's just gonna look really weird here for a sec. Let's try it. You know, I didn't try it. Let's try overlapping them. They should work. Like this Shift F thing. I really like this. This is a new thing for me. I didn't know I could do that. Yep. probably will just work. All right, it doesn't. I'm surprised a little bit. I don't know why that's not working. I don't quite understand what is not working about that. Hang on, if I were to take that and move it away. Uh-oh. I'm gonna move the whole loop. Just make sure that this will still work. Yeah, that works. Oh, those are still over. That is weird. I don't understand why that is turning off. You'll see there is a collider that turns on and off. So if I click on, if I select this loop, you can actually see how it works here. There's a collider that swaps. The players, it's swapping there, and you can see it light up here. And there's a point at the top of the loop that I'm using to switch which collider is on. Okay. Are they connected somehow? If they are, that's super weird. Yeah, kind of looks like... It kind of looks like the colliders are global, maybe? No, that one turns on still. All right, and then if I move the bigger loop, let's move. Something's going on with the detection there, which is weird. I don't understand that. Uh-oh. We've fallen through the world. I wanted to select all of these loops. Go to my player. I don't know what I did. All right, let's stop. What did I do? Why are the colors this way? What did I turn off? Oh my goodness. Does anyone know what I did? I hit a button. Oh, am I in prefab mode? Okay. All right, let's try again. Let me get my player up there. Okay. Let's select those loops. Did I not move? Oh, they're over. This will actually work. It's this. I'm leaving this collider. That's what's going on with it. If they were spaced a little bit differently, it would actually work. It just happens to be spaced in a way. There's a couple fixes to this. If I did it here, it would work. It's related to, yeah. I see. I think it'll work here. Oh. Let me get back up there. Give me a second. BK, congratulations on your points. What's going on now? Oh my goodness. Did I move these in a weird way? All right, let's move these two. And then this last one. Like that. Spent the weekend brushing off model tools. An area effector. I understand what you were saying, Sijian, now. An area effector will probably do what I want. I'm essentially doing that. What is going on? Why is this not turning on? My first loop here. Confused. Spent the weekend brushing off modeling tools. Brushing up on modeling tools. Got a new 3D model here. I've done something very weird. Oh, I know what's going on. I know how to fix this. That sounds really cool. Okay. We need to make sure that we're colliding with a player. Or something. I'm seeing some flaws in my implementation for my loop here. So we do if collider dot get component player movement controller. This is an issue. If it's null, do nothing. They're colliding with each other. They're colliding with each other. I need to make it say, well, make sure this thing is like a player component or an enemy component, but don't collide with the ground layer. They're colliding with each other, so they're turning each other on and off. That's what's going on. When the ramp is turning on, it's colliding with the other ramp and turning the other one off. I don't like that fix there. I don't like the change I made. Area effector sounds like a really good idea. I think we're going to switch to that. Sidian, it's a great suggestion. Okay. Looking at this in the scene view is really helpful. If it'll reload. Ugh. I miss working in a tool that doesn't take this long to reload. Every time I work in Unity, I'm sad because of the reload times, man. All right. Here we go. All right, let me get up there. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Oh, see, they're colliding. See, it's colliding with that loop now. I feel like the reload time has just gotten longer and longer with recent versions of Unity 2. Possibly. This one I need to add in. So, Sidian, I have a question for you. If you're still here. So now I'm in an issue where these actually have a platform on the top. So overlapping them, look at how you do it. So let me ask you, Sidian, can you land on the top of your platforms? Can your players go on top of them? So if I turn that part of it off, this will work. Turn this platform off. Turn the that is the wrong one. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I never remember it taking super long. Anytime I've ever used Unity, it's always felt like when you first start a project, it doesn't take very long. When you first start a project, it doesn't take very long. And then it's like the second you add any code, well, I didn't want to do that. We got to turn off the code reloading. And as you add more code, it takes longer. Even with assembly definitions, it still takes a long time. All right, so I can, Sidian, are you satisfied with that? We can do that. Let me add some platforms at the end here that we can end up on. All right, so we can overlap them. We have to make them not, so you can't be on top of them, but I think I can fix that with a, yeah. So we can overlap them. Go both ways. All right, there we go. That was interesting. Was I not going fast enough? Was that why I got caught up on it? I think I fell. Yeah, fell in the middle of that one because I started going, my speed dropped too much. So I actually didn't have to make a new loop. The type of loop I wanted to make, though, was a loop that changes directions. I want to make a loop that can change directions while going through. The other option I was thinking is, like, can I do this for 3D? I think I could do it for 3D, and that'd be super fun to do. I have an idea about that as well. Okay. All right, so we can do it. Pigeon was worried that we couldn't. I was worried that we couldn't for a second. I thought I have to make a new one, but we can get them to line up. They're a little bit interesting when we do that. Okay, so we got our loop here. Let's think. What do we want to do next? Yeah. So some pretty good stuff here. Oh, I wanted to. An area effector seemed pretty good. I haven't used one before. I didn't even think to use one. Area effector seems like it might be a better implementation of our loop. Here, let me do a commit real quick. I did make some changes. You got a new one for me? You got another one? All right. We did have to make a minor change here that I don't necessarily like. We'll probably need to swap this out into a different thing here. But for now, chore, update, loop to only change with player collision. Okay. Because if you had enemies or you want multiple things to go through the loop at the same time, that currently doesn't work. That said, what I could do right now, the loop has these colliders that turn on and off. But instead, what you'd want to do is you'd want to swap them to be what they're colliding with, right? So you could say, well, this thing should only collide with the player can now, we switch it to the ground layer. Or there's like a ground 2 layer, and the player starts being able to collide with that part of a loop. So you'll have 2 sides of a loop. All right, Sijian, you got another one for us, Sijian? This one's a screencast. Let me see if I can get that here. Just a moment. Sijian, no, don't. Here's the video Sijian sent us. Sijian goes, just throw away your solution. Don't throw away your solution. I still want to see your solutions. I love that you guys have cool solutions. Look, I just am having so much fun with this. I can't help myself. But want to turn it into a game. I cannot land on the top of these. I had to do something with that. I like the idea of an area effector. So let's look at that, because I've never actually used one. Right now, the way mine works is I have this bounding box. I like the idea of an area effector better. I have this bounding box that says, okay, we can, when something enters this bounding box, you'll see there's a box here. It says when something enters the bounding box, just detect which entry point you're closest to. An area effector, I think we could say, well, when we're on this half of the loop, we could have it be like this. You have an area effector. I actually really like this idea. You have 2 parts of the loop, having an area effector, and it says, well, if I'm over here, but essentially what we want is when we're on this side, this part of the loop is on, right? So when we're on this side here, we want this part of the loop to be turned on. When we're on this side here, we want this part of the loop to be turned on. Okay, so we can do that. We can make it happen. Area effector. Okay, so I have the left ramp here, area effector. I had never seen this before. Maybe I won't do it because I think this would be fun to see different solutions on Saturday. Use force target, collider, area effector, mask with use collider mask. See, I don't understand any of this. Let's go learn about it. Let's pull up area effector Unity. Area effector 2D. The area effector 2D applies forces within an area defined by the attached collider. When another collider comes into contact with the effector 2D. Configure the force at any angle with a specific This is interesting. This isn't what I was thinking it would do. I was thinking we could turn a collider on or off it based on whether or not we were in an area. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking. it would do. Collider 2Ds that use the area effector would typically be set as triggers so that other colliders can overlap with the forces to have forces applied non-triggers with still work. All right, hang on real quick. My dog needs me. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Unity Coder asked, Mooniz was using some contact filter, missed end of the stream. Did it work? I don't know. All right, my dog needs me again. Sorry. All right, we're back. The dog wanted in, then it wanted out, and then it wanted in, now it wants out. Doesn't like me talking. All right. All right, Effector 2D here. Moon is doing some contact filter. You were saying for Moon is a solution? Was Moon is working on this contact Unity contact filter? Let's look at that. Contact filter 2D. Ooh, is I've been a doorman for the pets. That's right, to the puppas. Yeah, that's right. Dungeons. I'm the doorman to the puppies. The puppies doorman. A set of parameters for filtering contact results, defining the angle by referring to their position in world space, where 0 degrees is parallel to the positive x-axis, 90 degrees is the parallel to the positive y-axis. Use a contact filter to precisely control which contact results get returned. This removes the need to filter the results later. It's a faster, more convenient way. Oh, this could be an interesting thing to add into it. I'm realizing that I actually originally tried to do this with a effector. It was, what were the different effectors? I think I originally tried to do this with either a platform or a surface effector. The problem I ran into is we need to turn them on and off here. This center point is where I ran into an issue. And so I ended up with getting stuck in the loop. That's why I switched to this thing where the version where I say, okay, well, where's my entry points? Where's my entry point? This one says, I did a bit more DOS programming a few weekends ago. I discovered how to make arrays in Turbo Pascal. Nice. And it makes you tell it know just where the element should stop. I don't understand that sentence. But also where they start. So you can totally make an array that starts at -25. Oh, okay. So you give it the bounding indices. I could see potentially wanting to have it like on a number line, something like that. That's interesting to have the indices that way. If you know the range, that's the thing. Like if you happen to know the range that you're gonna want to index by, you can do that in C# as well. When you create an array, is it an array or is there a data type that you can specify the starting and ending indices in C#? I did not know that. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Okay, what I want to do, I think this is the last thing I want to do for my implementation here. I want to have a loop that connects create instance, I think. That is cool. Okay, so I want to have an array. Sorry, not an array. I want to have a loop. Where's my mouse? There it is. I want to have a loop that I can come in and exit in a different direction. Okay, so that's one thing I'm missing here is I want my loop to come in and I want to exit in a different direction than I entered. So right now my loops all go like this. We go this direction and then we exit that direction. I do want to do a loop that I can enter like this. I can't do that right now, right? So I want a loop that I can enter and then exit in a different direction. So let's look at what that would look like here. Let's see if we can draw it out. So my loop comes up like this. I think I want my the way I do things, I think my starting rep needs to be further over. This is gonna be really interesting. Yeah, I want to be able to change the exit point. Let's edit this. I'm gonna move this out. There's a couple of different ways I could do it. Let me get this lined up with my grid so it's a little bit easier here for my brain. I'm gonna take these contacts, I'm gonna move them further out. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this. Let's change the color. I want to, can I get this done with just a rotation? I think I need to do a flip. And then a 90-degree rotation. And then we should be able to do that. So this is what I want my loop to do. I think I can use the same loop script. It's just a matter of getting these output and connected properly. I think I can use the same, yeah, pretty sure I can use the same script. Let's export these. And export selection, export selected only. All right, so we're gonna change this as loop bottom exit. 1 second. That's what get lower bound exists. Oh, that's fancy. Volcara, it's going fantastically well. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome into the stream. How are you on this fine Monday morning? Mechanically, no, this is slopes and loops implementation. Okay, we're gonna go into our assets. Sprites, this is gonna be loop, exit, bottom, like that. All right, so we have a loop, can exit on the bottom. Doing good, exploring shaders at the moment. Gotcha. Shaders, what type of shaders are you looking at? Just curious. Walks in, welcome into the stream. Congratulations on your number 16, my friend. I gotta do this one as well. This one's because it's slightly different curve to it. Oh, and of course I saved it as an SVG. Loop, enter left. All right. And then this one. Need it exported as a PNG. It exported as an SVG, and we'll have to delete that. Okay. All right, so this is interesting. This is the type of loop I'm missing here. Let's see if we can. Oh, I didn't export them at the right resolution. Hang on, another thing I gotta do. Oh, maybe I did. Okay, I did export them at the right resolution. What's interesting is it doesn't look like this is lining up properly, actually. There's a problem with this. Hang on. These need to be shifted over one. Hang on. This needs to come over one. This needs to come up one. Is that right? You'll see in the back there's some weird overlap issue. I need to, what's going on with that? Hang on. All right, I need to actually get rid of the top part of this. Let's bring this to the front. Okay, and we will... What's interesting is that's actually the top of that loop. So I'm actually going to get rid of these points. Like that. Okay, so this thing should be... Okay, I got it. What's interesting is I could actually construct this from the pieces I already have, but that's okay. We're going to do this. Really, I could construct this if I get rid of these points. Yeah, I could construct this just from these two pieces because I have the third piece that connects them already as an on. So I'm going to try that. We're going to try it this way. Can I do it with just this piece? And I'll do some tinting on it to make it look a little bit different. Let's try it. And of course I exported terribly, it looks like. Let's go to my sprites. Did I export to the right spot? Yeah. I think we can do it with just this. Let's delete the SVGs that got imported here incorrectly. Get rid of that one as well. All right. We're going to try making a new loop out here. Let's apply... I created a preset for my slopes here. This one here. Okay. And I'll pull this into the world, snap it somewhere. Make sure it lines up nicely. Okay. And then we're going to add in a... This is interesting. This is pretty interesting. Okay, I do think I need the full thing. Let's put that back. I think I need this full thing. I guess not. No. I don't. It's just how I attach things together. All right, so we'll bring the sprite in like this. All right, we're gonna create a new parent. It's gonna be loop Redston. How you doing, friend? Loop changed her. How the heck have you been? All right, what have you been working on? I know in the past you've been working on your wood game, or is it Whoop? Yeah, I think it's Whoop. It's either Whoop or Wood. I think it's Whoop. You've been working on what are some other ones you've been working on? You've been working on, let's get this slope in here. We'll rotate this 90 like that. Car bricks. Okay, you're working on car bricks at the moment. Very nice. All right, this one in here like that. Oh, that's interesting. The colors are actually slightly different. And then I want to duplicate this. And then this one, if we do, I think we got to do a mirror on it. I don't think I can rotate. Yeah, I think we got to do, let's do 90 and then a -1. Nope. -1. There we go. So this will be the loop that I want to produce. And can I apply? Can I make it darker? Yeah. Okay. So this is the loop I want to be able to have happen. So we come in one direction and then we exit another. Oh. Okay, so I can't quite do it because this one, I guess we can. The contact points are like a little bit interesting. All right, let's make this loop. So we're gonna come in this point, we're gonna exit that point. Let's see if we can do it with the script I've created. The script I've created, I think, should be able to handle this as well. But let's come in here. We're gonna add in a edge collider 2D. All right, and we'll edit this, and we're gonna say, well, we start here. This one, it's really important for collision detection that this edge be perfectly in that corner there. So let's see if it'll let me edit that that node 100% precision on it. X should be 0, Y should be 1. So we want it to line up perfectly with all of the other colliders. Otherwise, you get a weird jump, like you'll bounce when you hit it. Something weird can happen there. Okay. So this part of the loop here. Let's get it coming up here to start out. And we're going to have this ramp up like that. And then we need a couple additional contacts. I don't think it's going to... Could do this. That felt pretty good. That feels pretty good. So that's our one there. This actually needs to come up all the way to the top because this is the point where we're going to swap out. We're going to put... You'll see the way I do it in a moment. One more there. Okay. This point is important. We have a part of the loop that is, when the player rolls over it, swaps out which loop is being interacted with. So we need this part. So this is the left part of the loop. Let's create, this will be the loop enter left. I'm doing fabulous, Redstone. Loop enter left. And then this one's going to be loop enter bottom. I hope you've been well, Redston. I hope you've been doing wonderful as well. Add in an edge collider for this one. This one's going to be a little more tricky. No, it should line up nice there. Okay, awesome. I've been intentional about how I've created these. Notice how they line up on my grid. I've been okay, so I got to pack and stuff. What are you packing for? If you don't mind me asking, if it's personal, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So our X would be 0, our Y would be 1. Sidian, you got another one for us? It's gonna come here. This is gonna end up, I need to come up to this point here. And then we'll try and split this mostly evenly. We could add in additional points if we really need to as well. So these need to all be on, you're moving houses, gotcha. Sidian, let me check that out. Give me a second here. You've added in a bunch more. Yeah, so I need to make mine work with 2 players at the same time. Mine doesn't work with 2 objects at the same time. So Sidian's implementation, you got that on me right now. All right, so Sidian's implementation, notice we've got two things looping through the same loops at the same time. Mine will not work that way currently. I think I know how to fix that without changing too much. It's a matter of which colliders you're interacting with. And so I have a plan for that. For now, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fix. I want to get this loop working first, but I think I have a solution for that. So now I need a. I can put this on this thing, I suppose. I need to have an edge collider, and this edge is specifically the point at which the player swaps out which of the curves they're on. So it sort of activates one and deactivates the other. That's how I've done it. So let's get these precise, these points here. We want to get them super precise. We want to know exactly where they are. So this one, let's put it at 3. And then it looks like 2. 3 and 2, I don't like that. 1.9, 1.95, 9798, 1.98, 3, 1.98. And then the other one, let's put it at, would 2 work here? It's interesting that's going down 1.98. I'm a little confused why that X is causing to go up and down. That's fine there. This one's the more important one. 1.98, 1.95, and this one 2.6. So just so it's easier to type in those values, what we want to do is have this be a contiguous curve. You'll notice I need to get this one to match here, and so I'm going to modify that curve there to match exactly where it is. I'm going to take a screenshot of this just so I have these numbers, because my memory is just that bad. All right, so I have that open on another screen there. And we're going to come in and say that my... it's interesting. I got distracted by my live stream on the left. My YouTube preview usually not going, but my YouTube preview is like an hour behind. All right. Anyway, this point here, the one at the end, this one here, we want it to be... That's interesting. See, like my numbers aren't lining up here. All right. Oh, that's why I pulled these out into... I'm like inside of my other loop on accident. That's why it was looking so weird. Okay. There we go. All right, now these numbers are going to look better, hopefully. Yeah, they look much better there. Okay. Do they? It's relative to this. I need to... Hang on. That is why I did this. This is going to be top curve. Because these actually don't line up anymore. Hang on. Create, empty. Put it in on the wrong spot. Loop. Enter left. It's going to be left sprite. It's going to be top sprite. I need to take this. I thought I was being smart, but I feel like I was actually doing this in an incorrect way. A way that made it harder. So we'll paste as a new component. Oh, that curve looks terrible. Are there really 2 points there? There we go. Pull this in. Okay, there we go. And then we can get rid of our curve here. Okay. And then we have our top sprite, and we're going to move this to our top. It's going to be loop enter left, loop enter top, bottom. We actually enter from the bottom here. I'm going to take our top sprite. We're going to take our collider here. We're going to move this to our loop enter bottom. And the reason I'm doing this is so that way I can work in a relative positioning here. So when I look at, oh, I copied this the wrong one. I want to copy this one. Paste new component. Why is it coming? Why is it copying that one? Why copy component, paste component is new. It keeps pasting the other one. I'm gonna have to redraw that line. That's really weird. Have a beautiful day, Dungeons and Dimples. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope to catch your stream later today. Have a beautiful stream, and I'll see you soon. I guess I'm gonna have to draw that again. Which is quite annoying, but okay. All right, let's add in enter top to bottom here. We're gonna add in an edge collider 2D. And then we're just gonna edit it exactly again. So it's down here. And we want the point on this one to, hang on. Should be 2 and then -1. We want that to line up exactly on it. All right, now this position here can take this and move it. Eventually we want to end up here. So the end position, let's go find that end position. We're going to take this. We need to move this one out as well. It's going to be our top right sprite. This is going to be loop, connector. And then won't let me copy this thing. I'm just going to remove it and add it in again. So now these are all reporting positions relative to the bottom left corner there, which is what we need to make it relatively simple to place, do the positions on them. All right, so this one's gonna have 3 points. Just that top part of the curve there. Okay. And let's get these points perfect. 4, 5. It just feels wrong, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be so, we're going to be zoomed out when we're playing the game. You won't even notice yet. It looks fine from here. Zoomed in, it looks awkward, but I think we'll be fine there. 4.5 and 4.9. 4.95. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Now let me take a screenshot of that. And I'll have that open on my other screen. Now I should be able to get those in perfectly. So loop enter bottom needs to connect at 4. The left side there, I believe is 4. And then 5. So it's going to connect perfectly with that other one. Now let's get our shape in here. Okay. There we go. So we have that part of the curve. It goes to our connector, and then we need to connect this part of the curve here. And this one happens to be down here. This would be 4.5 and then 4.95. So now if we highlight all of these, we should have one continuous loop there. Okay, so I'm gonna come in one direction and exit out the other. Let's add in, oh, our top sprite has this on it. We're gonna remove that. So we need a box collider for this whole thing now. We're gonna add in box collider 2D, and the box collider needs to wrap the entire object. Because we might be falling in from the top down this way, we might be coming in from the bottom down this way. And so what we want to do, or the way I have this work, is as we are approaching this object, we detect, well, which entry point are we closest to? So there's some weirdness of like, well, what do I do if I'm coming from this way? I'm not sure how to do that, but if we're coming from this way or this way, it's obvious which one we're closest to. Same if we are falling from above. So we're gonna put this in here. We're gonna add in 2 more things. Yeah, let me make my box collider just a little bit bigger just to be safe. So we want to actually have it appear just even a little bit before those. Okay. And let's add in 2 children. Great, empty. This one is the left entry point. We'll create another one, and this one is going to be our bottom bottom entry point. Now for my loop, I think I can use my same loop script, loop controller. All right, so I have a loop controller here and it says, well, I need one entry point, loop entry. So we'll go with left entry point here. And then this is the actual ramp itself. All right, so it's saying if I'm closest to this position, then I want to turn on that ramp. Okay. Let me put this with the bottom. Okay. So the next one is my second entry point and my second ramp here like that. So this will turn the ramps on and off. And then the last thing I need to do is make it so that this loop connector here, there's one other script, a loop toggler, and it just says, tell me it toggles between them. When we interact with it, it switches which loop is on. So it knows that you've switched into a second part of the loop. So this is going to be our entry, hang on, loop connector, these two. 1, 2. Okay, I think we have a working loop. Let's put this somewhere to try it out. Let's go ahead and put it. Suppose we could put it there. Let's try it here. This is interesting. All right, so I'm gonna have to make it a prefab in a moment. Let's clear out some of this. All right, we're gonna put it here. And then let's add in, let's rotate this 90 degrees. So we can come down on it like that. We'll add in one of these. So we can test it both directions. All right. We'll duplicate this. All right, so we should be able to come in, come out that bottom point there, and then test it going the other direction as well. I'm gonna put a wall here just for now to save us from, it's the right way to mirror that? Yeah, mirror that here and have it come back up. Duplicate one of those. And I'm realizing I want one that goes sort of the other way as well. All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's give it a look here. All right, so we go through the loops. I didn't set the correct ground. Hang on, I just realized I didn't add these to the ground layer, so our player won't snap to them. So all of our edge colliders here, these need to be ground colliders. Okay, let's try it now. Let's follow our player. Uh-oh. Lost my speed. There we go. All right, can... It's not a trigger. All right, so this needs to be a trigger. All right, let's try it now. Okay. All right, let's follow the player again. Can I go the other direction? So that's cool. Same script, works both directions. We got to get the layers right. The layers are a little bit wonky here. You'll notice the player like ends up in front, but our loop works that way. Very nice. Okay. we can adjust those layers. This right here. We just got to swap one of these to be on a slightly different layer. I'm going to swap the left sprite to be on a different layer. So we'll move that in front of the player. There. Practical! How's it going, friends? Yeah, I know. I'm hideous. I know, I'm aware. I know, I'm kidding. Practical, how the heck have you been, folks? Be sure to go check out Practical. Why does the NPC work Practical? What's my command for you? There it is, Practical. I need to make an NPC. Having a lot of fun with this. Ton of fun. Mechanically challenged. Great question. I'll explain it in just a moment. Meanwhile, be sure to click this heart, folks. You see this heart right here? Be sure to give Practical NPC some love. One of the best streamers around, maybe my favorite streamer of all time currently. Constantly doing some cool stuff in Godot, working on making some really cool stuff. I'm really proud of the simplicity of my solution, Practical. Gilgamesh, great question. So Mechanically Challenged is a monthly game dev programming challenge. It's not necessarily a program challenge, it's more of a game dev challenge to create mechanics. So check it out, mechanicchallenge.org. This month, Maze challenge is to create slopes and loops, or slopes or loops, one or the other, or both, inspired by Sonic. So your goal is to create platforms that you can run on that can have curves, can have slopes to them, and you can't run up curves like this. So check it out. We can't go up that curve, Sonic, if we're not going fast enough. We gotta be going fast. You gotta go fast. Faster, as fast as possible to be going up with them. It's a really fun. Irad, welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. But this is right now. I'm working on making. So let me show you what I have so far. So this is what we have. So our player's velocity follows anytime they change slope, so it's looking at the ground beneath them. The cyan line is our player's relative up. It's what they believe is up. The green line is their forward velocity, so that's the direction of travel for them. The trick that I'm using, the secret that I'm using, is whenever the ground beneath my player changes, I snap their up to follow, and then I take their relative velocity and I rotate it around with it. So you'll notice here, this velocity snaps as I'm coming around. You'll notice it like snaps directly. If I'm not on the ground, that doesn't happen. So notice that it curves down if I'm in the air like that. So this lets me do things like when I'm not on the ground, it works how it might work in a traditional platformer. But when I'm traveling on the ground, I want it to snap in there. There's a little thing that happens with this as you're going around a curve, and it's harder to see, but if I zoom in, and if I'm going fast enough, we can see it here. Let me stop following my player. I'm gonna stop following the player here. Okay, so I'm not following the player now. Watch here, maybe I can get a pause, maybe I can increase it. You'll see little red lines that appear. I might have to make my speed faster to see it. But you can barely see them. They're there. I've managed to reduce the amount that they show up. Hang on, let me increase my player's speed. Maybe it doesn't even happen. Let's increase my player's velocity. Let's see if we can get my player to go crazy fast here. 20. We'll increase our acceleration to insane amounts. Let's see if I can get it to show up here. No, I can't. I can't get it to show up. That's wild. I've actually implemented it. I've done so much. Oh, there it goes. I feel like I've done quite a bit of optimization that it doesn't even happen now. There is little red lines that can appear that if my player's not on the ground, if they're far enough away, they get snapped to the ground. But I've done enough fiddling with the numbers to make it to where like I pretty much never go off the ground very far. When I go upside down, you can see it a little bit more. That's wild. I'm actually quite impressed. Oh, I've done something very weird here. We're gonna follow my player. That's just showing what it was previously. Otherwise, I can't see it. So they show on there for 0.25 seconds. They show for 0.25 seconds. So if I want to, I can pause and say what was the thing there. So there's some weird edge cases that I've had to fix. So for example, there's some things here. It was very, very useful. The blue line is actually where I'm connecting with the ground as well. Stygian keeps providing more challenges for us. But we have our curve here. We got our loops. The loop I'm implementing right now, so we got some pretty cool stuff here. This one, I like these loops very much. You can't stay upside down for long. I like those loops. We were working on, and I gotta fix this. Stygian wants us to add in multiple players. I think we'll do that. I'm having so much fun. I just want to make a racing game. Ooh, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll make a multiplayer racing game. So I have these loops. Stygian wanted us to say, can they overlap? They can. This is the loop I wanted to make here. Oh, I didn't turn it off. Let me fix that real quick. I forgot to. I did this. This needs to be a trigger. I don't even remember what I was gonna test. Don't even remember what I was gonna test here. Hang on, I have it. It's in the back of my mind. This is why I have the cue. So I have the cue here. All right, I'm pretty happy with this loop. All right, so loops that change directions. That's what I was changing. I was changing it so that I show up behind that. Okay, so I can fall through. Okay. I was gonna create another loop that will bring me out of it. All right, so I want to make this into a prefab now. Maybe this hat can tickle my memory. Give it to me. Give it to me. Loop changer there. Thank you for the hat, Noyane. Rain, thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat on the stack. Boom, there it is. What do you think? This hat? You want a different hat? You like this hat or you want a different one? You gonna explain your implementation of loops later? IRAD Saturday. And I can talk you through the high level, but we'll look at the code. I'm purposely not releasing the code until Saturday. Maybe I should. I'll talk about the high level concept. It's because this is a programming challenge with $50 on the line. Oh, you can't even see my screen right now. There's $50 on the line here. 2 people win $50 for their implementations. Muniz and I can't win, but Muniz and I are the judges. Muniz and I are the judges. We're looking for solutions that implement slopes in an educational way. Can you explain it to someone? Can you create it in a way that other people could use it, that they could take this concept and reuse it themselves? I can tell you, I'll explain how I'm doing it. I'll explain it how I'm doing it here. Let me follow my player one more time. Oh, this is like the coolest thing. Being able to follow in the scene view. My player's direction of travel, you see that the green line in front is their velocity. You just have to snap the way I'm doing it. You don't have to. The way I happen to be implementing this is the player follows the curve. All right, so the player's up gets translated based on the surface that they're on. And then when that surface changes, anytime the up changes, we snap their velocity, their current velocity, to that new angle. So that way you don't lose the direction you're going, right? So you don't seem to lose speed as you're going up. You do because of gravity. So going up, one thing that I like is gravity affects you. So gravity fights you. Same if you're going down, you can actually pick up speed faster. You accelerate faster when you're going down. So the players, I can show you 2 of the scripts. 2 of the scripts that I'm happy to show here are the movement controller. This is how I do movement. This is a very standard way to do movement in Unity. You say, get the horizontal axis. Am I pressing left? Am I pressing right? And I use this information to say, on my slope, I want to say which direction the user input is going. So this is, you can think of this as current direction of facing. This is the way we're facing. It sets which direction forward is. But then in my update, I literally just say, figure out how much I want to accelerate by, and then apply it to the direction that I'm facing here. So this is going to get our direction of facing. And then send it that direction. We increase, we add a force in that direction. Similar for our jump controller, we just say add it to whatever the player's current up direction is. So our movement and our jump controllers become relatively simple. They're sort of what you'd expect, but instead of using the rigid bodies up, the world up and the world right, you use the relative up and the relative right. Hannah, if in the next round the player isn't perfectly touching the ground, I have a thing that I snap them to the ground. I was trying to show that. I was actually trying to show that. It turns out that I may not even need that code anymore. Hang on, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna turn that part of my code off. I'm gonna hide my code real quick. What happens if I turn off the snap? Let's see what happens. I think I still need it. It must be doing something. You have a thing called the sloped ground controller. It must be working. I do need it for when I go upside down. Let's have this rebuild real quick. So I have this code here, you can see here, that says find the ground, move the player so that they're touching the ground. If they're already touching the ground, do nothing. If they're not touching the ground, move them so they're touching the ground. So I have this thing called snap to. I commented it out, so I'm not using it now. But it just will snap the player. So if they're within, I have a thing called snap distance. If they're within a certain distance, we'll snap to it. Oh, this is necessary for when you're going fast around corners. I'm gonna have to turn this back on for sure. Let's try it real quick though. I'm gonna go flying off edges if I'm going super fast now. This is interesting. Can I turn off my snap? If I make my, I'm really curious now. I still think I need it for going upside down to detach properly. All right. Yeah, I'm no longer, oh, there it is. There it is. So it's so minuscule that you can't see it. So see how, if I'm going fast enough, I try to follow the curve, but I didn't get too far away. So let me turn up my snap distance. Let's see if I set it to 1. You'll see there, I start coming off of it a little bit. I think I can actually get rid of it in mine. Yeah, I'm really, you'll see I'm like snapping in interesting ways now because my distance is so high. You'll see as I'm falling, I don't know if you can see that. As I'm falling, I like hover above the ground briefly. Yeah, it's doing weird things because I have the snap turned off. It barely does anything. All right, it barely does anything. It prevents you from flying off things. It makes you follow the curve. If you're doing it without a snap, that's awesome. This is why I like this programming challenge, these game dev challenges, because we want to see, well, how do different people do it? How are people doing it? We want to know. I want to know, and then we can take those and build out better solutions. Or, depending on what your implementation is, be like, oh, it might work here. Shy Programmer, welcome back to the stream. Great to have you with us on this beautiful Monday. How you doing, friend? All right, so let's see if we can get it to show, because it should draw. I can maybe make it last longer. Oh, it's not drawing the snap anymore. That's what's going on. I took the draw out for some reason. Hang on, let me add it back in. That's what's going on. If the show debug info, we're gonna draw a line, draw line. Give me just a second from point A, distance dot point A to distance dot point B. That's why we weren't seeing it. I'll have this stick around for 1 second. All right, let's check it out. All right, you gotta let this reload. Sijian, if you're not using a ground snap, that's awesome. That's awesome. It was like part of, as your solution evolves, right? As you go forward, it changes. Oh, send me, can you add it to the queue? Did you just send it here? I think you sent it here. Oh my goodness. I would need to do something special for this, I think. Yeah. No, I think mine will work as is. I'm thinking about how mine's implemented. I actually think mine will work as is. Which is really interesting. I think our loops work very similar to each other's. I think my loop will work like that. This one, I have to modify how my loops work to get yours so I can have two people going through them at the same time, two entities. Because I'm gonna have to change it from being a collider that turns on and off to switching which layers are considered ground. Yeah, I think I could do the nested loop there without any change. What was I about to do here? Oh, I was going to show you how I... All right, so I think... Yeah, there it is. There it is. Let's zoom in. And we will come up here. So my player... You can see the little red dots? That is the correction I'm making. So I make a correction to keep the player on the surface. So there's some minor corrections. And as the player gets faster and faster, the correction has to be a little bit more. So the sharper the curve and the faster the player, the correction is greater. You could fix this by making your physics update happen more often, right? So this is based on the physics update here. So if I made my physics update happen more often, I wouldn't have that correction. I don't even know if that red line is coming through. It probably is. But yeah, my player is saying this is a correction that I had to make. You have no idea how I switch collisions and loops? Yeah, I can, that one I don't mind talking about my implementation of that either. So let's go to one of my loops here. All right, here's my loop. Here's how my loop works. I'm happy to talk about it. I have this bounding box. So there's a bounding box here that says, this is a trigger that says when the player enters, I'm going to detect which loop I'm closest to. So I have these 2 points. There's a point here, and there's a point here. And as my player comes in, it says, am I closer to this loop or am I closer to this loop? Whichever one I'm closer to, turn on. And specifically, am I closer to the starting point of the loop? Which starting point am I closer to? And then for me, it says, if I'm rolling over this thing in the middle, switch which loop I'm on. So the thing in the middle switches which loop you're connected to. Yeah, so that's what I do. So as you go over the center point, swap into another one. So this allows you, like if you're rolling up here and you don't make it, it actually doesn't switch the sides of the loop. That one, that's my solution to it. And it lets me do things. Why is loop a rigid body? Loop is not a rigid body. I see. Oh, I know why. This doesn't need to be a rigid body. I was using a composite collider. I was originally using a composite collider where I had multiple different colliders and it would use them and it would treat them as one collider. I'm not using that anymore, so we can take that out. So for example, in this scene, I use a composite collider here. So all of these are considered, my floor tiles are considered the same collider. I think. Maybe I don't know how composite collider works. You don't need that, but you'll notice here it combines them. So it's a little bit, the transition between them is a little bit better. You'll notice that there's no lines between them. I don't know if that's better or not. It's just something that I did initially. I could probably remove it and it would work fine. All right, so I have this loop that changes directions now. I wanted to make another one. We're gonna try making another one. Let's collapse all. And I wanted to invert it like this. All right, I need to remove these. I should be able to connect you here. All right, so we should be able to come up. I wanted to see if I could do this sort of crazy loop thing. I wanted to see if I could. Let's rotate this 90. No, not 90. 180. Oh, this will be cool. Can I? Does this? Oh no, I can't. It'd have to like go that direction. I was like, that would be cool. I might be able to do something kind of like that. Crap time. Welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. 270. Is that what I was looking for? I want it to. All right, so I want to come up. All right, I want to make a big looping track thing. All right, so I actually need, I think this is what I'm looking for. And we'll come out, we're gonna come up. I'm just trying to build a cool environment to loop around in. All right, so now I want one of these. This is too much fun. I think I'm having too much fun. Can you have too much fun? We'll go back the other way. Let's go 0, 190, 180, 270. Why is my fingers not working? Hang on, I can't quite get this loop to change the way I want. Hang on. I want, oh, it's just this, I think. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna come in. Why can't I get this to do what I want? I want a loop that comes in and okay. I need the loop. I come in, I want to come up and then change directions. Okay, so the loop would have to do something interesting. I want to change. Oh, I just want this side loop, don't I? But I can't, I'm not going the right direction to attach to it. What's going on here? I want to come up this way. I need to like end up. Anyway, Sigian wants us to do loops inside of loops. I think we can do that. Let's do loops inside of loops, and then we'll play around with that. Just to do that challenge, Sigian, just to see if mine works that way. I'm pretty sure it will work. My brain seems to think it'll work. Let's take these 3 loops. Ryan, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Hope you are having an absolutely wonderful. Let's duplicate these. I'm having trouble getting rid of a little thing on the end there. Let's nest these loops together. All right, so we're gonna nest the loops. It's harder to see my nested loops because they're so thick. Here, all right, we'll put this small one in there. All right, we'll have a nested loop. The old nested loop. This is gonna be weird. I think this will work. We're gonna find out. Can we do an even bigger one? All right, I don't know if we'll have enough momentum to make it through this last one. Getting those lined up is interesting as well. All right, let's try with just 2. Congratulations on your 21, Shy Programmer. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat stack. There it is. There's that hat. Thank you so much for the hat, Redeem. All right. Let's try the old nested loop here. All right. I have no idea. My guess is this will be okay. I'm not sure. All right, let's try it. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, I should get rid of that. In we go. Out we go. I hit a bump. You'll see it's not lined up properly, so I ended up hitting a bump. All right, it can't. Stygian, you see that? Oh, that's hilarious. Stygian, is that what we'd expect? Yeah, we end up going through it twice. I think that's okay. That's fun. There is a little bit, the alignment's not right, so they end up not lining up with each other properly, so I can hit a snag there. You'll notice I hit the bump there. Fix it. Thank you for the raid earlier. If you get a second raid, I was testing from Twitch apps. It's gonna be fun. It's making me want to make it into a game for sure. All right, so we can kind of do this. It doesn't work quite how I would expect it because we end up exiting the loop. Yeah, so there's. If I want to make it so you only go through the loop once, there's an interesting challenge to that. I need to. I don't know if I can get these to align properly. Yeah, they're not going to align properly. I need to make some new loops that line up like perfectly on the bottom. I guess technically our loops work that way. I would have to do a little bit more with them. It's okay. No, I'm saying that my solution would require I'd have to do some modifications to get it to work perfectly. Exactly. I'd say mine goes through twice, which is not what I'd expect completely. So I would need to change. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure how I do that. I could change. Well, the easy fix for mine would just to make the approach box longer, right? So what's happening, and I think we're okay with different ones, is that this loop, I'm technically exiting this loop. To fix it, all I'd have to do is say, oh, by the way, there is a simple fix. Here. For this particular loop, I just have to make this bigger. Because what's happening is we're technically exiting that loop there. All right, so now I'd only go through once. And I could fix, actually, the cool thing is I could actually fix this here. Just put it below. And then the right. This will work. I think. No, we're gonna hit. No, it won't work. We're gonna end up running into this. I need to have an effector. This won't work. Why was it working before? Maybe it will work. I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up hitting this on the outside. Let's our bigger loop. We're gonna nest. Where's my big loop? I'm gonna create nested loop. This won't work. I'll have to do something special or adjust it. Why can't I move that? What do I have? There's like something extra. What? That's weird that it forcing me to move it from that pivot point. That's really weird. It's really weird. Oh, it's because that's where that nested point is. Okay. Congratulations on your 22, Tony. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Want these. It's annoying. That's okay. Don't think this is gonna work here. I think we're gonna end up running into the side of it. Let's try it. We're having fun. We're having fun with it. The physics on it have been really fun. Yeah, let's follow our follow our player here. I can go through. Well, it's this round. That's kind of what I was planning to do today. Was not going to work on this. I was going to show this and then work on a 3D one. Because I think doing it in 3D would be really interesting. I don't know that anyone's doing a 3D. I think we're gonna run into it. Yeah. So, the fix to this is to add an effect that says, well, I can always go through. Yeah. So so Stygian, this one I can't do that one. I'm actually amazed that it worked at all before. Yeah, we're almost there. If you decide to do the next one, how about doing a pseudo 3D race when there are hardly any resources for making one of those in modern engines? Oh, so like Stunt Driver. So like Stunt Driver style. Stunt Driver DOS. So a pseudo 3D Stunt Driver. Let's look at if we can get some images of it. So like this. So not... Oh, it looks like they actually do real 3D. That's interesting. But we're like Rad Racer then? Rad Racer. NES images. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So, but like this is not. Yeah, so pseudo 3D Rad Racer is a projection of 3D. So like this track that's all sprite based, right? So this isn't real 3D. It's just that they have different layers. Road Rash too. Road Rash. Let me turn the blur on because Road Rash could do something we don't want. Road Rash, Genesis. Oh, I thought that's cool because I remember playing Road Rash as well. So you have the pseudo 3D. Stick with pole position. Yeah. I don't know. That would be interesting to do loops and slopes on something like this. That would be hard. Stunt Racer, I was thinking, Stunt Racer has loops. That's why I was thinking, oh, do they do it pseudo 3D? No, they do an actual 3D rendering of it. Slopes and loops would be interesting. It'd be really cool to use the loop mechanic to create a 2D roller coaster game. Yeah. I'm having fun with it. This, I need to have in an effector for my loop. All right, so I'm pretty sure I could do probably area effector is what we want, where I think I have to redo this. Fox Hollow, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Yeah, I'd have to redesign my loop to be able to support the nested loop because I have this bounding box on it. So having an effector, I need to learn more about area effector.
Our dopamine. Oh,
I think the area effector is the right one. It says, thank you for the dopamine fix, Tani. what I need to do is after I exit this loop completely, I still need to be able to move through this part of the platform. Part of me was just thinking having a platform effector that's one way would be one way to do it. So this loop here, the left side would say it's one way. So there at least one enabled 2D collider used by Effector. And we will say that this, so I'm gonna try this real quick. The dopamine, I think someone else just did it already. Try to, I think it's on cooldown is probably what is happening. Try dopamine again. It just happened, so it might be on a cooldown. I'm surprised it doesn't say it's on cooldown. So you might have to wait a second here. 180, but then we will say that, is this the right way to do that? Say it's only affected on this side. I think this is it. Oh, it isn't in the animations below. Let's fix that. We can fix that. Am I logged into Twitch on this here? And I'm not. All right, we'll fix that real quick. Give me a moment. Please hold. I logged into Twitch on this browser. I am. All right. So down here, we're gonna edit the panels. Commands. Animations. Dopamine. Gotta get that fix. All right, there we go. How'd we do, Tawny? How'd we do? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Easy. Easy fix. Thank you for the heads up, Tawny. Points, add. Points, add. 250 points. Thank you so much. 100 points to the cap for fixing it. All right. Is this the way the effector works? I have it on the right side. Let's find out. V-Long, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Let's go check out, let's go test this effector. Henry61, welcome back to the stream. Great to have you here. I think we can add an effector like this as well. Be harder for those loops. There we go. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and add that into our prefab. It's been a couple of days. Yeah, glad to see you. Things have been going great. Things have been wonderful. I'm having a beautiful day. Yeah, so this is just adding a little bit more complexity to it now. Platform effector. We are working on an implementation for mechanically challenged. Slopes and loops are this month's challenge. All right, so do the loops move to 2 pieces, or is it the third piece just super tight? The third piece is here in the middle. All right, so we have the left ramp, right ramp, and then you have the top of the ramp. This actually is swapping sort of which layer you're on in the ramp. So as you pass this point, it switches you between the front and back portion of the loop. I don't know if I told you, but I added my first game onto the Google Play Store. I feel like you may have mentioned that, but I forgot. I'm sorry. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if you have permission, Henry, but feel free to drop a link to your game if you want to. If you have any preview links or anything like that, we might have a chance to check it out as well. Right ramp, left ramp, we're going to add in a platform effector. And this one would be 90. All right, let's make sure All right, we've added this in. Let's make sure all of our loops continue to work. Gave you the push to do it. I'm glad I was able to do something useful. All right, let's go make sure our other loops continue to work here real quick. Those loops are still working. Okay. All right, let's make sure our sideways loops work. They should. Everything should be rotating with them. All right, and now we should be able to do the loop in loop. Let's go up here. Let's run it. Let's have it reset to. Oh, I still need to have the bigger one there. Boop. Let's go up like this. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I just want to make a racing game. That's all I want to do now. Where there's like different ways to traverse the level. All right, can we go back? Yeah, we can. All right, Stygian, what do you think? Stygian, what do you think? Does it meet your? Let's add a bigger loop outside of it. Let's add a monstrous loop on the outside of this here. You got the 1, got the 2. I need to make my loops thinner. Maybe we'll do that in Inkscape. We'll make them thinner so we can match them here. Let's see if I can just make a giant one around there. I wish I could sadly add a third. Yeah, Stygian, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I have enough momentum to make it through the third one, so I might have to actually change my graphic for a loop so that way it doesn't have such a big box around it, right? A third loop should work fine. I just have to duplicate this one and set it to a scale of 4. And then get it. All right, so this is getting ridiculous. Add multiplayer. I know that yours, so when you say multiplayer, I just want to be able to have multiple things going through it at the same time. All right. Actually, let's duplicate this. 2. Maybe we can do it just 3. Maybe 3x will work okay. Getting these to line up this is why we're gonna have to fix the bottom of those loops there. Let's have this. That. Duplicate one more. Can we just do 3x? Is 3x gonna be visible? Them to line up here. My goodness. The platform doesn't line up properly. See how my platform increments? I need a loop where the platform doesn't do that. All right, we're gonna make some new loop graphics and then we'll get it to work here. All right, it'll be easy if I just make some new loop graphics. Easier. All right, so I need to make loops that are not thick and that are on the same starting point as they all need to be on the same starting point. All right, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna make this here. You have to have 20 play testers before you can make it public. Oh, that's rough. That must be new. That must be new. When I published to the Google Play Store, I don't think there was anything like that. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate this. We're gonna thin it out. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna do that. But I also want the loop here to, let's take this crescent. We're gonna move this all down so that it doesn't actually ramp up. It's just a straight loop like that. And then we will thin it out like this. Thin it out like that. Thin it out like that. So the issue I'm running into, and then we'll pull these corners in. Come on, grab the corner. And we'll make it so that this corner can curve. We could also just leave it like that, I suppose. Let's make it curved. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's grab this corner. Congratulations, Kovalak on 23. Getting close. Getting close. If anyone wants to be a playtester for Henry, help him get that published on the Google Play Store. That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty sweet. Be pretty kind of you. All right, let's get these lined up. Make this loop look looks crazy. This, I suppose, should be curved as well. Then these should be opposite of each other. Are they opposite of each other? How do we feel about that curve? Does that curve look correct? Doesn't really look quite right, but that's okay. Okay. So we got that. This is gonna look weird, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll duplicate this. We'll hit the H key. And then we got our loop like that. All right, so there's two pieces that we're gonna produce here to create our loop. Perfect. And then we'll nest these in there. Game dev stuff is hard. Yeah, game dev stuff is absolutely hard. That is the truth. Okay. I'm gonna save this. Let's go ahead and export this. I think we only need the one, and then we'll just mirror them and attach them together. Having the idea is the easy part. Doing the game design is really hard. Absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Call this thin loop left. Okay, so we got a thin loop. Let's take this and this so we can nest them. We had to create a thin loop here so we could nest them. Did this export as a SVG? Thin loop, there it is. Okay. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna turn this into, let's add this here like that. Okay. It's gonna look weird, that's okay. Oh no, I'm not gonna line up properly. All right, I need to make the bottoms thicker for them to line up the way I want. So let's do that. Let's take this and extend that down like that to make it properly aligned. Let's try it now. So now I can line them up. Just so snapping, I can adjust how my snapping works as well. All right, so we're gonna work on this. We're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna flip it. Right sprite, left sprite. Let's add these to an empty parent. We're gonna call this thin loop. Our right sprite, let's mirror it. That did nothing. All right. All right, -1. Okay, let's tint it. Just so we can see what's going on with it. All right, we're gonna tint it. We need to add in our curve. Okay, so let's add in our curve. I've heard Apple's good to upload to, but it's a lot more money and you need a MacBook. Yeah, so when you build for Mac, you have to sign it. So I think it's $100 a year or something like that to be able to publish to Mac, because you need a license. You need to have signing and stuff with it. All right, so let's go ahead and add in our create an empty. That's going to be our left loop or left entry loop. Left entry loop. That. We're gonna add in a. We will have an effector on it. We're gonna also have a edge collider 2D. Okay, and then this collider. We're gonna edit that. This needs to be perfect here, and I think just by moving it that way. Hang on, before. Don't want to do it that way. I want to edit it from the points themselves. Hang on, one of the points should be at 1. I'm not even sure. Hang on, let's grab this. Edit. Okay. 0, there it is. 0, 1. And then our other point is going to come up here. So I should add the top in first. Suppose I don't. I could just add this in. I'm realizing there's some other things. Since it doesn't have a ramp into it, I could actually have a box collider on the bottom part, and then just have the. Oh, that's one way I could do it, because if there's no ramp, this actually becomes quite a bit easier. Per developer, not per app. I've heard Steam charges 100 USD listing fee per game, but they mentioned it's accepted. Recount, yeah, after you make enough money, they pay you back. You get it back. That, I believe, is to help. So they make a little bit money on every sale. Otherwise, you just have people spamming potentially scam games too, right? People will be publishing virus all the time to Steam. So if you need to have a little bit of a barrier to publish to prevent people from spamming you. There's some talks, so there have been some research done on stuff like that. So you know how you get scam emails, scam calls? If it cost money to send emails, you would not get spam emails, even if it just cost a little bit of money. So like if you had some kind of postage like stamp, you would get less. You'd get less. The scams would be you get much fewer scam email. You'd still get spam. Companies advertising and stuff. It would not be as bad because it would be so expensive to send it to everyone in the universe, right? Because that's sort of what they do. Okay. Let's add the top of the loop first. Top, or I'm gonna call it transition point. Do this here. Some interesting things. By flattening the loop out, I am already thinking, oh, there's some interesting ways to do this in it. Yeah, I'm already thinking there's like several different ways I could do this edge. So it's pretty cool. One of the things that's I think is really cool about programming is the number of different ways you can implement the same thing. It's going to be at the top here. And a center point. And then let's adjust these edges. Do 3.25 and 4.9, 4.95, 8. Okay, 4.98. And this one on the other side, 4.98 and 2.75. There we go. So we have this come in. This will be a perfect 3 in the middle and 5.02. It's not gonna matter. When I'm zoomed out, you won't even be able to tell. And 5. Now that I have that, let me take a screenshot. So I have that top point. So that's where they're gonna connect. Let's keep this on my other screen. Or off to the side, really. It's gonna be off to the side here, so I can see it. Enjoy your sleep, Lance. Have a beautiful day. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. We will be back. Thank you for the bonus hat. I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing work on this, and then I'll be back on Saturday where we check out all of the submissions. All of the submissions. All right, so our left loop, we need this one to end at 3.25 and 4.98. And the rest of it can be a little bit more washy. We're gonna be going through it fast, so it doesn't have to be super perfect. And we can always adjust it later. Let's move this effector 90 degrees, like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna duplicate we're gonna call this the right entry loop. And I'm just gonna flip it around on the x-axis. So we have it there. And then I can, no, it's not gonna work because I have to adjust those numbers. I'm gonna have to adjust those numbers. So I can't quite do that. I'm not gonna duplicate it. I guess I could. All right, right entry loop, but I need to restart the edge collider. Our edge collider should connect here. So let's come into our points. This should be exactly 6 and 1. This up here needs to connect with this. So it should be, the last point should be 2.75, 4.98. And then we just pull these things down like this. Just pull it across here to smooth out the curve. Oh man, Kilted Ninja's great music here. Folks, we're listening to Kilted Ninja's music. Or music created by Kilted Ninja. I'm really enjoying this stuff. All right, so we have those. Is that everything I need? Call this our right sprite. I think that might be everything we need. Let's add in our loop controller. We have our that's what I'm missing. Need to create that's going to be our left entry here. That's the point. Left entry point, and then we have another one called our right entry point. I'm looking forward to solutions that are better than mine for this. Sijian seems to have a better solution for this than I do, so I'm really looking forward to looking at your solution, Sijian. All right, so our loop here, we're gonna say our left entry point. I should rename this to make it a little bit more obvious. Left entry loop, our right entry point, and our right entry loop. All right, so let's make sure that this loop works. And then we're gonna nest them just because it'll be easier. The whole point of doing this was they were hard. It was hard. Oh yeah, and then we want to make this appear on that layer. It actually doesn't matter now which layer it's on because our loop, hang on. Oh, no. Not long enough. Notice it's not lining up the way I want it to with the oh, I hate that. Oh, I just didn't start it in the right spot. It starts too soon. Hang on. It will line up. Here, let's thin loop, shimmy it over one. There we go. I was like, it's not lining up. It's not lining up. I've made a mistake here. Try that. Now my loop should nest nicely, or at least these thin loops will nest nicely. We need to be able to, yeah, there's something about if I wanted to be able to jump on these loops. Sijian, I'd be really curious if you can jump on your loops. All right, let's go make sure we can do this. Follow our player around. Oh no! I must have them backwards. Alright, hang on, let's pause. Oh, I know what I did. I didn't add in a, there's a couple things I didn't add in. Okay. I need to add in a box collider 2D. That's a trigger. This is the whole, that's how this whole thing works. Alright, and then we will make this wrap. Needs to be, this is gonna be an interesting, the nested ones will be interesting. Because we need to, yeah, it's gonna be, they don't work out of the box. I have to nest them in a intelligent way, and then I have to create that box around the whole thing. Alright, so collider there. This, I think, and then our top point. I'm really looking forward to better submissions of this. Love it when stuff works. Been programming my little guy to swim towards a dinghy if they are in the water, and worked really well. Awesome, Distron. Awesome. Is this for your giant test game, or is this for something separate? Loop toggler. Left loop. And right loop. All right, let's go to our player. All right. Ooh, interesting. Is the other loop not turning on? Let's take a look. Looks like the second loop isn't activating. Or am I not making it up? I might be falling off. Am I falling off that loop? Let's look at the left. Suppose it. Let's move myself over to the other side. Okay. Something interesting. Oh, I didn't make these ground. These are not ground. I keep doing that. A transition point. Left loop. Right loop. The player isn't treating these as ground, so it's not. It won't track itself on the curve if it's not treating it as ground. All right, let's go back to our player here. For the Giantess game, I have a level that is slowly flooding. The Giants will be able to deploy dinghies to help people, because going back to the fourth once the water has risen is pretty slow. That is pretty cool. I love that. All right, there we go. So this loop works. Let's nest a couple of these and see how we do. See how we do. We'll nest a couple of them. Let's pull them out. Let's make this a prefab. And then to make the nested loops, I have to do something interesting where I change the box around them. I think. Yeah, because it's going to be re-entering each time. All right, so I have 3 loops here. Let's make this one twice as big.
Whoa.
Like that. Holy moly. Code Rad with the raid. Code Rad, how you doing, friend? Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Oh, I got Code Rad Games, folks. If you guys don't know Code Rad Games, I'm sure you. What's going on here? Code Rad. What is my command? Rogue Blight. Thank you for the shout out. I don't know what happened to the video. Code Rad. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. My video didn't seem to play there. I don't know what's going on with that. How was your stream? What were you up to? What were you working on? Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. Thank you so much for raiding in here. We are working on our implementation for Mechanically Challenged. Having a blast with it. If you got a raid and run, no worries. I know how it be. They don't think it be like it is, but it do, Code Rad. But it do. All right, so we're gonna move this one here. Line it up with my, it's interesting because I want to line it up with my background, not with, there it is. Take the bigger one. And I want to nest that one inside. Like that. And then this one, I don't know if my player can make the loop this, I don't know if the momentum is there's gonna be enough momentum in it. Is this lined up properly? It's gonna be up one and over. Can't tell if these are actually centered. They look centered. Okay. Sometimes it do be like that. I was working on making B-roll footage for Secret Expo. Ooh. Ooh. Very cool. When do we get to know more? When do we get to know more? When can you tell us that it's not a secret? When's the reveal? So we make that one, and then this one, we just need to make sure that the entry point for these is wrapping the outer loops. All right, so the bounding box here needs to be on. What we could do is we could actually make it so that all right, let's move these, create empty parent. I'm gonna call this one our nested loops. Can I move these? It's annoying. It's okay. All right, let's get rid of this chunk of floor here. The 5th. Awesome. Awesome. So this should work with any number so long as you have enough momentum to actually get through them all. Just want to make sure there's nothing under it. Yeah, nothing under it. All right. Moment of truth, man. Moment of truth. Can we get the super loop? Is it raycast some sort that checks the angle? Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. We use a raycast. Here, let's zoom in on my player here. The blue that you're seeing is the player's relative up. The player's relative up. And so we adjust the player's velocity so that way they're down. We do a raycast from their current position towards their down to say what is the ground? What is the ground that we're actually on here? So this allows us to have them stick to loops here, so we can create loops like this. There's some tricks to have the loops turning on and off. All right, moment of truth. Oh, I'm stuck. I don't know what happened. Is my effector not working on that? All right. Did I not actually add an effector to these? Or not make it one way? I didn't click the trigger there for my platform effector. All right, so go into our thin loop. You'll notice I didn't say use effector. There we go. And to make it one way. My left loop, I did. All right, let's try it now. So we're working on Mechanically Challenged, which is our monthly game dev challenge hosted by Mooniz and myself. This is my implementation that I've been working on. How many recursive loops do you need? Look, Distron, Sigian said we had to do 3. Sigian challenged me, he said you have to do 3. So that's what we're doing. All right, can we do 3 loops? 1. The effector is going the wrong direction. The effector is going the wrong direction. This one would be -90. All right. First try, everybody. I'm gonna get this on the first try. Here we go. All right, let's follow that player. Oh man, it's my new favorite. Biffles! I gotta try harder. First try. We're gonna go and get it the first try. Here it goes. Here it goes. Yeah, Code Red, I'm having so much fun with this. I think I gotta make this into a game. Ooh, that was interesting. That was interesting. What happened there? All right. It turned off. That was interesting. Is my oh, the effector. Yeah, there's the effector or something. Let's look at what's going on there. Let's get myself back up there. Come on, let's just grab the player. Move them up here. Okay. I think there's an implementation bug. All right, so if I look at this, I want to look at this loop. I'm wondering if there's a gap. There's not a gap there. My effector. My effector is broken because before it worked because my loops had a slight angle to them, so it was okay. My loops had a slight angle to them, so it's okay. So this new loop here, see, but my new loop is pretty sweet because I can do this. I was realizing I could actually just add in a base box collider 2D that is ground. And this ground can actually be down at the bottom of this. Or I could just add in, hang on. Create empty. It's gonna be floor, base. I don't know why I did delete it to make another one. I think it's on the ground level. Edge, collider. I was realizing as I was working on this, that this could actually have an edge that is literally just the bottom. Like this, that just is always on. Right. And then the inside of the loop, I could do this in a much different way now that I'm doing it with these flat loops. Without the curve, I always have the base on, like this. And then I could have it be an effector that says, well, only if I'm on this side or that side. So my effector here, all right, let's go back. I think this will fix it. Let's get my player up there. Move ya. Boop. All right. I think we got it. Okay. Do I have enough speed? Oh! That's an interesting thing, Sijian. I would be curious how if you run out of speed on yours, or if you like detach. That is interesting. Yeah. It was working better. I'd run out of speed, and then suddenly the way I'm attached to these is very odd. So there's a whole nother can of worms. They like don't line up quite nicely either. I was hoping that they'd line up better. They don't. Notice I don't have enough momentum, so my player is disconnecting from the top loop up there. Yeah. I don't have enough momentum. Here, can I make my player faster? Here, let's make it faster and see if it will work. Yeah, I wasn't fast enough. So I was falling through. Sijian, I would be really curious. All right, so the whole thing does something very weird if you disconnect partway through the loop. I was worried that with 3 loops I wouldn't be able to make it because it would be 2. What's going on with that now? I've changed how my loops work, and so now it's am I detaching? What is going on? There it goes. Yeah. We can do this. I don't know how to deal with letting go of the loop. What should, like, what is the behavior here supposed to be? Should I land on top of the loop? I don't know. Yeah. The effector needs to be slightly different too, I think. So it's almost like landing on top when it makes sense? Why not? What should I have it do is like, that's what I'm saying, just fall back to the bottom of the whole loop. So this is where like my previous loops make sense, because I can get on top of these. All right, so these ones, I'm moving so fast now. Used to be able, so you could get on top of these, right? So that makes sense. When I nest these inside of it, I made the thin ones specifically so I could nest them. This is wild. I'm way faster than I'm used to going. Yeah, I don't have quite enough speed. Okay, so then my effector for these thin loops needs to be a little bit different, right? My one-wayness needs to be wider. It'd be like 270, maybe 200. 230, something like that. Either this or less. I can't. One of these two things needs to be true. It either needs to be more or less. I'm not sure. It might need to be this. I think it's 100. Let's do 100. 100. Let's go see if this is what we want. It might need to be the other direction. That way when we fall from the top, we fall through, we'll end up back inside the loop. So it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look really weird. Yeah, this nested loop thing is interesting. Guess really all I need to do is look here. This one I don't actually think is, for what it's worth, yeah. So now my top point is not wide enough for that. Or I need to rotate it. There's something I gotta do. Let's play around. For what it's worth, my solution to this problem is like 6 lines of code. I didn't think people were gonna have as much trouble with this as they have had. My solution is like not that long. It's all about the approach, right? So let me count the effective lines of code that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
if you
19.
Feel like you're talking with Captain.
My solution is only like,
Captain impression.
19 lines of code.
I am not the captain.
Yeah,
but
so
my
it's
eyebrows
the
also
concept.
move
Thank you
in
for
a
the
way
shout out to JD
like
there.
the captain.
It's not necessarily about the engine. It's about like my approach. I think is relatively simple. My approach is simple. If you're doing all your physics, if you have to program all the physics, it's hard. It's much harder because then you're implementing physics, but it's not about physics. I'm actually not using effectors. I wasn't using effectors until just this, right? So implementing slopes makes it so that my loops just work. My loops just work as far as like turning things on and off. Let's see what Sijian sent here. I honestly didn't think this was going to be as big of a challenge as people have felt it to be. Well, this is just, this isn't part of the, I would say like this is beyond the challenge. I could do this with layers, I suppose. Yeah, so Sijian saying, can you do this? The question is, care about this. The nested loops I think is pretty cool, but then I have to like make a special loop. Like doing special things here. This I'd need a special. This is like a new object, right? I do like that your rotation slowly curves back. Mine snaps to down. All right. Because what you're doing is you're disabling. You like my thought is when you're on the loop, you just disable this thing, right? So yours, we could do it as well where we have like foreground, background elements as well. And when we're in the loop, we no longer collide with things outside of loop. Yeah, so in mine, you can. So if you're not going fast enough, I have a variable that is like your minimum velocity, where you fall off, right? So let me show you that, Smap. Great question. No time for that, unfortunately. What you've seen for mine, that's cool. A tween-based approach is like this. Why I think the approaches are really differently. So I have something here called my fall threshold down here. So I have to have a minimum velocity of 6 to be able to make it through. It's hard because of the way my acceleration is, but if I don't have enough speed, I end up falling off. Right? So you can see it's just, if I make my acceleration a little bit different, we can make it happen. It's kind of hard to get it to happen. But yeah, I end up falling off the edge if I don't make it through the loop. Yeah. Have a beautiful day, Distron. Sijian, I have a question for you. I'd be curious how your loops. So you have this nested loops. What happens if the player falls off the loop partway through? Can you fall off partway through yours? What does yours do? What would be how would you handle falling off the loop? Do you fall down to the bottom? What do you do with yours? They go all the way back to the bottom, and then do they have to start the loops over again, or how does that work? I'd be really, really curious if your player can fall off the loops, and if they can, what happens? Have them fall to the bottom, and then in your example here, Sijian, if they fall off the loop partway through here, do they end up on the platform in the middle? Or they shouldn't. I would say they shouldn't, right? I think this is kind of cool. I like this. Some great things. Mine, I'm disabling colliders. Switching the layers that the player collides with feels like another option that I could play with here. I was planning to do 3D today. But this is fun too. I've had a blast doing this. Yeah, we got this going here. Oh, you can't see. I'm looking at the other screen. The smaller loops are interesting to make those work. I hadn't considered how to do that. I think I'm probably going to say that I don't necessarily support that. I do like this like wall climbing thing going on there. I love this. My effector, I gotta fix that. So the effector, I need, let me think about this. Let's come to this loop. The effector seems to be saying under what? Yeah. So I'd want... I need to rotate it. It's 90 and 180 was this. What trade did you make with the actor for it to agree to act as the player in your solution? Hang on, Captain. Oh, the Eye of Cthulhu? This was literally written. I did this so you could see the eye up there is up. That's the up position of the player. If you complete the loop, it'll ignore it. No, I'm saying if you fall off mid loop. If you fall off in the middle of the loop, what does it do? Not if you complete the loop. Let's go look at what's going on over here. All right, so I come through. Yeah, so I don't want that if I switch these back. Let's switch these back. So it's 180. So it's 180. And I don't want to make this super complicated. That's the other thing, is keeping it simple. I feel like what I had is relatively simple. Let's move our player. And this is adding complexity to it. So like if I drop my player up here. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. This middle point needs to have an effector. So I'm landing on that. And I shouldn't be able to land on it. All right. I think now we can fall through the loop. Yeah, that bottom one for some reason I still hit. Which is interesting. Am I hitting the left side? The physics, it's like adjusting my physics still. If you fall in second loop, hang on, let's. See, because my loop, I don't have enough speed to make it through the last one there. If I don't do something where I adjust my physics settings here. So I can do it that way. These are also not lining up perfectly. If I fall, technically I made it. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, that's an interesting behavior. So like this type of loop, I think I'd have to do something special. It won't work without a somewhat dramatic change to what I'm doing. Dramatic is maybe a strong word for it, but with a very different approach. I'd have to do a very different approach. Or maybe somewhat different. I keep saying words. All right. So yeah, I can't do this. If you fall in second, that means you completed first. Okay. So Stygian, I don't know if you're watching. I know people are probably lurking a bit. You fall. I want to play yours. We'll play around with yours. On Saturday, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not satisfied with my nested loops like this. Can you show, let me look in your video. This is interesting. I want to look in your video for going through the loops forward and backwards. So notice, all right, Stygian, technically, this player should be doing the outside loop first. then the inner loop, then the inner loop. If they were connected contiguously, right? Continuous. If I go from the left to the right, I should do small loop, medium loop, outer loop. If I'm coming from the right, I should do outer loop, inner loop, inner loop. Right? If we want physics to, like, quote unquote world physics to make sense, I'm realizing. So we go inside. It does they both start on the smaller inner one. Whereas you would expect it to inner, medium, outer, and then if you're coming back, it would be the reverse direction. Does that make sense? So my loops, I don't want to implement that. That feels like I'd need to do something really overly clever. I'd have to be overly clever with it. All right, the nested is okay. The all right, sorry, adjacent is okay. Nested, not so good. This is a challenge. I'm not sure I'll implement this. All right, what code changes did I make? Did I make any code changes? Oh, I added in a debug. Cool. I'm gonna put this back in here. Chore, add in debug. I'm gonna wrap up here for the day. We're gonna find someone to raid out to. I'm gonna put a little thing here saying chore, add thin loops. I gotta get out of here. I got some stuff I gotta get done today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for making it all the way to the end, for helping me have a beautiful morning. Let's give everyone 500 points. 500 points to all you beautiful people. We're going to find someone to raid out to. We will be back on Wednesday, folks. I might be back tomorrow. Will I be back tomorrow? No, I won't be back tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday. Don't forget, Mechanically Challenged. Get your submissions in. Mechanically Challenged submissions submitted by Saturday. We're going to be reviewing them on stream on Saturday. Get in. It's okay if you don't finish it. Do a slopes. Maybe do slopes or loops or both. It's up to you. Having a blast doing this. Getting back to the loop next time. Yeah, Tony, thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Let's find someone to raid here. Let's do it. Let's find a person. Is Beegs still going? Beegs is going. Beegs is working on Mechanically Challenged. We're gonna give Beegs a raid. He's probably wrapping up here soon, but let's give him a raid anyway. All right, folks, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. We'll be back on Wednesday. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Mechanically Challenged. All the self promotions. Blah blah blah. Have a beautiful day, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.